Hey there! Thanks for checking out my brand new YouTube channel, Scouts Almanac. And be sure to hit that subscribe button to catch more videos just like this one. Hope you enjoy. What's up, everyone? I am C. Jackson Cowart, aka Scouts Almanac, and I appreciate you joining me for the second episode of Draft Day Rebuild Revenge of the Sonics. If you missed the first episode in this series, you can check that out on my brand new YouTube channel, which will feature plenty more videos about sports and gaming just like this one. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that big fat subscribe button for this channel and the Wolverine Studios channel too, as I'll be producing videos for my friends over there as well. And I know I said it before the last episode, but I really do mean it. It doesn't cost a thing to subscribe, but it really, really helps me as I grow this channel and help folks learn about all of these awesome games that I'll be showcasing on my channel. So if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button right below this video. For you returning folks, for one, I really appreciate you, and I can't wait to dive into the next phase of this Sonics rebuild using the expansion feature in Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2023, the game you're looking at right now. I've included details about the game and some of the mods that I'm using in the description below, so definitely check those out. Highly recommended. If you enjoy these videos, I think you're going to have a lot of fun playing this game as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into it here. Like I said, last episode, we drafted this entire roster that you're looking at right now. Let's take a bit of a closer look at this roster. We'll do this a little bit more later in the episode, but for now, let's take a cursory look at the guys that we've got. I'm going to sort by overall and then sort by position as well, so we can just kind of see the overall strength of what we have on the roster. Like I said, if you haven't already seen the previous episode, probably worth checking that one out right now. You can just go ahead and click on the Scouts Almanac button right below this video and go to my brand new channel. You'll see that first episode from a few weeks ago where we went ahead and just drafted this whole thing in the expansion feature in this game, which in my opinion is one of the more underrated features of this game. I had a lot of fun drafting that out, so if you didn't see that, I would recommend checking that out first. But this is what we got. This is the squad. I think the two big highlights here are obviously Jonathan Isaac and Brandon Clark. Those two guys, both athletic, kind of springy wing forward. I mean, I guess Brandon Clark's not a wing, but they both kind of serve a similar purpose here as like a 3-4 hybrid. Brandon Clark, I guess, probably not super qualified for the 3. Play a spot of 5. Jonathan Isaac probably could too in a pinch, but I really like what these guys bring to the table. Brandon Clark, kind of our bona fide scorer here, 98 inside scoring, 59 scoring overall, highest on the team. And he's got some spring as well. I know he's not great defensively, but 69, I mean, that's not too bad. His block's only 46, maybe not as high as you would like to see, but he can get it done down low defensively, and then offensively, he is really just a handle for opposing defenses. And then Jonathan Isaac, kind of the opposite here. I mean, he can score, not too bad. Multi-level score, I like that. 67 from three-point shooting, or at least according to what our scouts say. But obviously, that 94 defense is killer. I mean, that's one of the highest ratings in the game. I think we're going to see it. He's pretty much going to be our defensive anchor at the 3, at the 4, wherever we end up playing him. I think we're probably going to play him at the 3 in sort of a supersized lineup, just given our roster construction right now. But wherever he is going to make an impact. I think we're going to build around him. And then some of the other guys on this team, TJ McConnell is sort of an overqualified second string point guard and certainly an underqualified starter. But that's what he is right now for us. He's the starting point guard, pretty much our savior at point guard. He's the only one that I think I can really rely on for large periods of time. We do technically have Peyton Pritchard as our backup point guard, but to me that's probably the biggest weakness on the entire roster is that backup 1. So if we can get that sorted out, I think that's going to do wonders for this team. Alex Caruso technically can moonlight as a point guard, but if Alex Caruso is playing lengthy minutes as our playmaker here, I think we're probably in trouble. I think we might be in trouble regardless, but we'll see what we can do with this roster. I do love having Luke Kennard as the starting 2. He is an absolute assassin from deep. I mentioned that in the last episode. He literally looks like an assassin. He looks like he wants to kill me or you or somebody. I don't really know what his plans are, but as long as his murdering is happening from the perimeter, that's fine by me. All right, I don't really have any issues with that. So I think we're pretty decent in our guard rotation here. I do want to get a higher level point guard. But if we're able to do that, and TJ McConnell is kind of a 6th, 7th man situation, I mean, I feel pretty good about where our guards are at. for this stage of the rebuild at least. And then, looking at their other bigs here, Daniel Gafford, I do like him a lot as our starting 5. Azubuike, he's a decent backup center, but hopefully he doesn't have to play long stretches. Got to think that Brandon Clark's going to get some run as a backup 5, which would bring Jonathan Isaac down to the 4. But then I don't really know who would play the 3. I guess Dorian Finney-Smith, excuse me. He's going to play the 3. He's kind of the linchpin of this entire rotation here. I kind of consider him a starter. He's probably going to get starter minutes. I don't think he's technically going to be a starter. Looking at the lineup right now, I got to think that our starting rotation is going to be McConnell, Kennard, Isaac, Clark, and Gafford. And then I would think that Dorian Finney-Smith is going to be the 6th man there. Probably subbing in for Clark, or maybe subbing in for Gafford, moving Clark down to the 5, having Finney-Smith come in at the 4, something like that. So I think he's really going to be a crucial piece for this rotation. I'd like to say now that I'm probably not going to trade him. To be honest, I think every single person on this team is probably tradable to me, but it's going to take a lot for Dorian Finney-Smith. Probably going to take more than what the computer is going to offer, just based on his profile, because he really fits this roster well. I think that he's kind of the glue guy, so to speak, for what we're trying to do here. So this is what we're working with. I think we have a bit of a defensive identity here with Jonathan Isaac and Daniel Gafford and Finney-Smith and Clark. I mean, I really like our front court in general. And even Caruso. I mean, he's a feisty defender in his own right. So I think if we can get a coach that kind of helps embody that while also really emphasizing player development, I think that's going to be key. So before we go right to the coach hiring phase, that's what I think is going to be the main focus in this episode, is really filling out our coaching staff and setting the stage for our franchise as a whole there, and then just really evaluating the roster and trying to think up some potential trade options or rotation, or just generally looking at what we want to try to do to improve this roster. We may even dangle a couple guys on the trade block if we're feeling lucky. But before all that, you got to check your emails, all right? I'm always saying it. If you guys have watched videos of me playing these games before, I love to say it. It ain't sexy, but it pays the bills to check your email, all right? If you're a good general manager, you're checking that inbox. So we have an email from, I believe, Adam Silver himself, letting us know that this is the coaching hiring phase. So, okay, we have today and 3 more days to bring in new coaches. That sounds good to me. Let's just hop right into it here and see what we're working with. Okay, so our staff is completely barren. Pretty sure. I mean, we did just launch the association. So, yeah. Or launch the franchise, excuse me. So, we have absolutely no coaches. We got to fill it out with 4 of them. So, let's see what we are working with here. I got to think that player development is our number 1 priority. So, let's sort by that. Maybe do a secondary sort on evaluating potential. But I think that player dev is really what we're focusing on here. And if we can save some money in the process, like, we're not going to win any games, all right? Like, we're probably going to win 25 games in this first year and, like, maybe 35 next year. So I don't necessarily think that we need to be spending a lot of money, on a big budget coach or anything like that. Like, I think we can kind of take it easy here and just kind of see what we have on the roster, develop some players, put a lot of focus in the draft, something like that. So I'm not really too worried about offensive and defensive knowledge. Right now, I'm mostly just focusing on player development with a little bit of emphasis on evaluating potential. And then for some of these assistants, if we can get, an offensive guru, a defensive guru, et cetera, I don't mind that at all. But, all right, see some of these top options here. Honestly, Kevin McHale jumps right off the page. 98 player development, 98 evaluating potential, 98 basketball IQ. Good offensively, not the best defensively, but we can shore that up with our assistants. He's got a good temperament. He is a greedy MFer, so that's not exactly what you like to see after I said that we're going to try to be penny pinchers here, but maybe we just don't have to let him know that. And then the other guys on here, I mean, there's really a drop-off when you get past Luke Walton, which, yikes, probably not going to hire him. You get past Walton, there's really not a lot in terms of player development. Kind of falls off a cliff there, and everybody's the same. So if we really want to have an edge there, I think we should try to hire one of these 7 coaches, and I just ethically and morally, I'm not going to hire Luke Walton. So I really think it's going to be one of these 6 coaches. Now, I don't know if the money lines up there, but I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe so. Eddie Jordan's kind of interesting. Good at developing young players. He's got a good temperament. He's not asking for too much money. He's a worrier, though. I don't really like that. I don't want my head coach to be a worrier. Yeah, I don't know if I really believe in that. Also, defensive intensity, sag, really? All right, I don't think he can be our head coach. So let's look up a little bit more. Mike Woodson. You know, I don't know if Mike Woodson's winning any awards for player development, but but he's pretty good at player development here. Obviously knows what he's doing offensively. His basketball IQ is pretty solid. Not the best at evaluating potential, but I think that's okay. He's not much worse than any of these other people. Sam Mitchell. Man, Sam Mitchell's yelling at someone. He's a performer. That's good. Nothing really too sexy here. Mike Dunleavy Sr., I guess that's kind of interesting. 69 years old. That's nice to see. He's a thinker. I don't know. I don't know if I am kind of inspired by Kevin McHale here. I kind of like what I see there. Now, he wants $6 million. So, I don't know if I'm inspired by that. Maybe we could try to get him on the cheap and then fill out some of these other coaching roles, some of these other assistant roles while we're waiting to see if he says no, which he almost certainly will. Becky Hammond. What's Becky Hammond doing here? That's kind of interesting. Becky Hammond. What if we just threw a ton of money at her and made her our head coach? Huh. Honestly, these ratings are kind of disrespectful. I think she's better than that. She just won a title with the Aces. Huh. She's 46. She's an achiever. Excellent temperament. Not greedy. Clearly, she's willing to play for like 2 nickels. Yeah, $560,000. I mean, we could. I don't think we could pay her that little to be the head coach, but we could toss her a deal for $3-4 million. Bring her in. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Like, this is going to be the first coach in new Sonics history, so that is something worth considering here. Whoever we hire, we want it to be, it's a symbolic hire, right? Like, this is a huge deal, so that's interesting. That's really interesting to me. The thought of bringing in Becky Hammond as the first ever coach in Sonics 2.0 history. She does have the player development to justify it. The only issue is some of these other ratings aren't great. And I don't really feel good about hiring her as an assistant when she literally was an assistant in the NBA and then took the job with the Aces. Like, I don't really understand why she would take an assistant job. All right, I think I'm going to do something that's not super kosher. I'm kind of tempted to just, throw a ton of money at her and then, edit her ratings. I'm talking through it now. I'm being honest about my thought process. This thought did not cross my mind until right now. And I'm very tempted because this is my game. And I can do what I want. But we could also just throw a bunch of money at Kevin McHale and see what happens. So that might be the smarter play. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw a ton of money at Becky Hammond, and she's going to take it, and then I'm going to bump up her ratings to be fair. But let's look right now, all right? Let's compare her to somebody, Eddie Jordan, right? Eddie Jordan wants about $4 million. 58 here, 77 here, 42, 83. I mean, I think we could bump her up to like that, right? Like Eddie Jordan. Who would you rather have as a head coach, Becky Hammond or Eddie Jordan? Kind of think you'd rather have Becky Hammond, who just won a title with the Aces and was one of the best assistants in the league for years. But what do I know? Yeah, we're going to do it. All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry you have to see this. I'm going to cheat right in front of your eyes, but that's okay. We're going to give her a lot of money. Actually, right now, I'm going to Google how much she's making with the aces. We're doing live negotiations here, guys, so bear with me here. All right. Becky Hammond's making $1 million a year? What? All right, that's it. We're going to hire her for $250,000, and we're going to hire her for 4 years. And there's nothing that you guys can do to stop me. All right, there we go. Head coach locked in. Who do we want for the assistant? I still think we want to emphasize player development here. Honestly, if Kevin McHale is willing to take a big fat check to be our assistant coach, then like I'm not above doing it. But I can't pay you more than Becky, so how about I pay you $2 million? Is that $2 million or is that $200,000? Yeah, it's $2 million to be our assistant. Seems like a pretty weird offer, but if we can get Kevin McHale to be our first assistant behind Becky Hammond, that'd be incredible. Okay, third assistant here again. Probably player dev. She's willing to take that job. I don't think so. Let's go ahead and just look at kind of the offensive and defense. Oh, here we go. Mark Schlichtenmeyer. Hell yeah. $622,000? I got you, buddy. I'm going to give you $623,000. That's how much I want you to be our coach. All right, 3-year deal. To be our second assistant. There we go. In the bag. And then third assistant. Maybe somebody who's just like good at like scouting and stuff. Keith Grubb. Yeah, excellent temperament. Not a greedy guy. He's a perfectionist. That's what I like to see. Look at that. Look at that big smiling face. Grubby. I think he's the guy. Maybe Dan... is it Majerle? I can never remember how to pronounce his last name. But he seems a little bit overqualified to be a third assistant right now. So probably not him. See if there's any other person that's worth hiring. James Posey. That'd be kind of fun. He's got a poor temperament, though, so I don't really want him just complaining all the time. Yeah, you know what? Grubb's the man, all right? Good basketball IQ. Doesn't want too much money. $589. How about $599? Yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming to be our third assistant. All right, I'm going to make an offer. And then I'm going to make sure everything looks good. I think it does. And let's just see how this goes. You got to think Becky Hammond's going to take the job. Because this game is lying about her ratings. All right, let's see. Who do we got? Oh, Kevin McHale will not work for that kind of money. He wants a longer contract. All right, but we did get Keith Grubb, and we did get Becky Hammond. That's what I thought. Mark Schlichtenmeyer would like a little more money. All right. So we got a problem on our hands. And it doesn't have to do with Mark Schlichtenmeyer, who I'm happy to pay what he's worth. But we got a first assistant problem. Kevin McHale's not going to work for that kind of money, and I didn't really think he would. Where's my man Schlick? There he is. All right, you want a little more money? I gave you more money than you wanted. What are you talking about? Buddy, I'm paying you more than you're worth. Wait, I offered him $623 and he wants $594 and he's asking for... All right, $650, sign on the freaking dotted line, all right? That's it. I don't want to hear you make any more demands. All right, there we go. We have to hire a first assistant, though, and I don't think it's going to be Mike Woodson. Who do we want it to be? Who's the best? Whoa. All right. I like this. You guys are probably all want to be head coaches, though, but maybe we can find somebody who's willing to stretch a little bit. Can we get anybody who's good at player development as well? Man, Avery Johnson, I would love that. I don't think he's going to do it, though. I really don't think he would. Kevin McHale said he's not going to work for that kind of money, but I really don't think I can pay him more than Becky Hammond, just like ethically. So, kind of an impasse here. I want him, but I just don't think that it's going to work for that amount of money. Maybe Terry Porter take the job? That'd be kind of fun. Northwest guy. I don't know. What do you think, Terry? Craftsman at work. Maybe you'll take the money. Probably not. Probably not going to happen with him, but I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. Maybe we could try it. I do kind of want Avery Johnson just because, he looks like he would kind of fit the bill here. You know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it with Avery Johnson. He's my man. Kevin McHale already said no. I'm not going to pay you more than Becky Hammond. So I'm going to give you $2.3 million for 4 years to be my first assistant. First assistant in new Sonics history. Let's see if he takes it. I don't think he will, but one can dream. We're going to be out of coaches here in a minute. But that's all right. We got the one we wanted, and that's Becky Hammond pre-edit. Avery Johnson will not work for that kind of money. But Schlichtenmeyer will. Look at that. All right, so we're going to have to hire an assistant who actually wants to be an assistant. That's probably reasonable. Let's see. We got Neil Meyer, Russell Turner, Daryl Birch, Dan M. I think I got to learn how to pronounce his last name before I hire. I think it's Majerle, but I think I'm wrong. So, let's see. Is there anybody else that just kind of jumps off the page here? Jerry DiGregorio. I don't know how that wouldn't jump off the page. Chris Amaker. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really seeing anything that's too inspiring. James Posey is kind of interesting to me, though. Get a former player in there. Get Sharif Abdur-Rahim in there. Get some real business done. I don't mind that, actually. Let's see. Who's the best at evaluating potential that's willing to work for dirt cheap? Or player development. How about that? Let's get a good player dev coach. Matt Brace? Kind of looks a little sleazy, but again, apologies to the Brace family. Andre Jupiter. I just want an excuse to hire James Posey. I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's who I want. And I don't think that the negotiations are going to last very long. I think that we both want him. But, man, he is certainly not someone to develop young players, I guess. So that's kind of concerning. Where did he go? Is he good defensively? I don't even remember where I saw James Posey. Certainly wasn't... I got to get an assistant that's better than my second assistant, right? I don't want just a bad first assistant, especially with a new head coach. So, I think player development is ultimately what we need to prioritize here. I'm not super impressed with Matt Brace's resume. I'm not really impressed with any of these resumes. But Lionel Johnson? Janssen? I don't know. I don't really know how his family prefers to be addressed there, but Lionel's kind of interesting. He is a champion, which is good. He is a greedy man, but that's okay. Everybody's got to make a living. And then just anyone else that stands out here that would be willing to take the job, and has kind of high marks across the board. I'm not really seeing it. Would have loved John Lucas, but he's not going to do that. So, this is going to be tough trying to fill this last role with somebody that isn't just absolute garbage. I'm kind of intrigued by Sharif Abdur-Rahim. What is he up to these days? Sharif Abdur-Rahim. What is he up to these days? Looks like he's the president of the G League. So, I don't I don't really know if he's going to be willing to take this job, but yeah, I mean, he's been an assistant in the NBA before. Obviously had a pretty lengthy NBA career, so I kind of like the idea of bringing in Sharif, right? Like this probably doesn't matter whoever we hire here. And he did play for a year in Portland, so he's got a little bit of a. Well, I guess Vancouver's pretty close to Seattle too, so he's certainly got a Northwest ties. Let's do it. Let's hire Sharif. All right, Sharif, come on in. 600,000, 3 years. You got to prove yourself as the first assistant. I love it. I love that hire, assuming that it is a hire. Wait for it. And boom! There it is. Wait, what? Kevin McHale? He's an assistant for the Blazers now? Wow. That is a dream squad right there. Look at that. They have Kevin McHale and Scott Brooks both on the roster. Man, they are paying out the nose for that. Wow. All right, that's going to be a fun rivalry in the Northwest. Wow, Kevin McHale making $5.5 million as an assistant. Well, anyway, we got our coaching staff settled, and I'm about to go fudge the numbers here a little bit on Becky Hammon. BRB. Hopefully it lets me do this. If it doesn't, then I just made a fool of myself. But oh no. Oh, please, no. Oh no, I think I made a mistake. Excuse me, Commissioner. Hello. Yes. Edit, add coaches. Select. There we go. Kids, don't do this at home, all right? This is not, I wouldn't recommend this. This is not ethical. It's not right. But I don't care. Offensive knowledge, like a 65. Defensive knowledge, like a 75. Evaluate potential, yeah, you know what? She's pretty good at that. How about like an 80? Basketball IQ, certainly. I mean, come on, let's do like a 90 there. That's disrespectful. And player development, how about like 80? All right, perfect. We got our coach. Yay. Ignore that. No one saw it. Doesn't matter. Didn't happen. Perfect. And just like that, we have got a dream squad. With Becky Hammon as our head coach. Look at that. She's an absolute stud. Best coach in the league. And then we got Sharif. We got Mark Schlichtenmeyer. And my boy Keith Grubbs. Grubby Grubbs. I'm feeling pretty good about this. And then we still have $5 million left after that. So, allocate like probably $2.5 million towards the training staff. I don't know. Maybe more, right? Let's do more. Yeah, let's do all the money we got. Avoid injury, recover faster. Well, I don't really care if they're injured. All right, we're going in the middle there. There we go. Feel good about that. So now we're going to advance in the coach hiring process. And I feel pretty good about the coaches that we have there. So, all right. Go ahead and check our inbox here for a minute. Salary cap changes. Nice. A little bit of a bump. So that's good. And rookie combine. All right. So this is when we get to kind of the draft scouting part of it. I'm not totally ready for that yet. But what I think we do right now is let's just take a look. Well, let's see. We could do it now or we could do it another episode. Let's take a look at the roster here. Just take a cursory look and maybe see if there's any other players that we would be – any players here that we'd kind of want to dangle or any players around the league that we think that maybe we would want to poach. See if this works. No, that didn't work. You know what? Maybe we'll do that in the next episode. I feel pretty good about this. We got our coaches all settled. Feel really good about that coaching staff that we have lined up. Maybe a little sneaky in the way we did it, but Becky Hammon is the first ever coach of the new Seattle SuperSonics, which I love. We got some player experience on the coaching staff. We got some other assistants that I think are pretty well equipped for the job. And at some point, you know, we'll start to look at some trades for some of these guys. Maybe I'll mess around with some off camera, or just kind of looking at it, and then come back on here and see what we have at our disposal. But in the next episode, I really want to go ham on scouting, all right? And let's just take a look at this right now to kind of tease what we have ahead here and see who are some of the higher scorers here. Looks like we got a Spaniard that's pretty good. Got this kid out of Purdue, Brandon TART. Actually, I don't want... Oh, we're on the Celtics here. Wait. What about us? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, we don't have any scouting to speak of because the Sonics didn't exist all year. So, unfortunately, we're not going to know a lot about these guys, which makes me think that we might even want to trade the pick. But we'll see. I think we have the 5th overall pick, which is pretty interesting to me. So, you know, looks like there's like one high upside kid coming out, Jason Ireland out of Autech. We don't know anything about him. We'll know a little bit more after the Combine. But maybe after the Combine will be a good opportunity. We'll see, you know, kind of what this draft class looks like, kind of what we're looking at in terms of our picks and the holes that we're looking to fill. And then maybe just maybe we'll start to do a little wheeling and dealing, start to float some guys on the trade block and just see if there's anything that we can do to improve our roster. But I think it's a pretty good stopping place for this one. Had a lot of fun with this episode. Hopefully you guys did as well. Like I said, in the next episode, we're going to dive deep into the draft, figure out which players we want to scout, work out, add to our draft board, and maybe even select with that number 5 pick if we don't trade it first. So excited for that one. Thank you guys all so much for checking out this video and for supporting the channel. If you like this video, and I'm guessing you did if you're still watching it, don't forget to hit that like button at the bottom right below this video here. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and the Wolverine Studios channel, where I'll be releasing future videos just like this one and some different ones too over the next few weeks and months. So don't forget to check out all of that and more details about this game and the mods that I included in the description below. If you have any ideas for future videos you want to see on this channel, or any other questions, concerns, or general thoughts about these videos, or really anything, be sure to comment below or email me at scoutsalmanac@gmail.com. Also, let me know in the comments, who do you guys think that we should trade for? That might help a little bit. Give me a direction here ahead of this next episode to kind of see which guys you think that I should target. And honestly, if any of you guys have some good ideas of players that you think I should target, I'll make it happen. I will shape this roster in the image of your mind, all right? So if that's not a good sales pitch, I don't know what is. I know I just hired my assistant coaches, but in my heart, all of you are my assistant coaches. So let's get this thing done. So like I said, drop in the comments, who do you think that we should try to trade for? And then maybe let me know whether you think, or whether you approve, rather, of my coaching staff hires and maybe all of the chicanery that went into it. So again, appreciate you guys for checking out this video. I know I went on a long soliloquy last time about subscribing, and I really did mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'll keep it brief this time and just say, every single one of you that subscribed last week, it really meant a lot to me. I really do mean that. It was incredible just to start this channel and see kind of the immediate feedback and response from so many of you, and so many of you that subscribed. Like, that just really meant a lot to me. So I hope to reward each and every one of you with content, with videos just like this. It'll truly make you excited to get that notification every time that I release a new video. And really, that's all it is. Like, if you subscribe, you get a little alert every time I drop a new video. Like, that's it. So if you'd rather never hear from me again, that's fine. I wish you well on your future travels. But for the rest of you, if you like this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.